This conference will now be recorded.
In the previous session, we started discussing how to insert record in single record and how to insert multiple records at a time and how to iterate the list also we discussed, right? How to iterate the list and how to update record. How to update record. Okay. Now, suppose we want to fetch the record. Suppose we want to get the record from the object. Suppose we want to get the record from the object. Okay, how to get a record? How to get a record? Suppose we want to get a record. Okay, how to get a record? See, generally, how many operations are there? How many operations? Okay, insert operation, right? Insert operation. Yes, we discussed how to insert a single record. We discussed and how to insert multiple records. Also, we discussed, right? Then what is the next operation? Update operation. We discussed, right? Okay, how to update a record. We discussed, right? How to update a list we discussed in the previous session, right? Now delete a record. Delete a record means delete operation directly. We will just go and delete, use delete, and that list we will use it here. Okay. Suppose we want to fetch the record. Okay. Then suppose we want to get a record. How to get a record? How to get a record? Select. So there are two ways are there. Okay, two ways are there. Suppose we want to get the records from the object, then we have two ways. One is Salesforce object query language. Okay, Salesforce object query language. Query language. Okay, query language. And another one is Salesforce object search language. Salesforce object search language. Salesforce object search language. Okay, but we will go with the Salesforce object query language. Salesforce object query language. What is this search language? We'll discuss. Going forward, we will discuss. Okay, going forward, we will discuss. Salesforce object query language. Salesforce object query language. Suppose we want to fetch the data from the object. Suppose we want to fetch the data from the object. My requirement is we want to find how many account records are there. How many account records are there? We want to find. How to find? How to find means we will just go and write a query. Select. Okay. Here from the account record, in the account record, we have a lot of fields are there, right? We have a lot of fields are there, right? Which field you want? Which field data we want? Which field data we want? Okay, my requirement is fetch account records or get account records. Means how many account records are there in the system? How many account records are there in the system? That we have to find. That we have to find. How to find? Two ways are there. One is Salesforce object query language and another one is Salesforce object search language. So we will discuss Salesforce object search language going forward. We will discuss. Now coming into here, Salesforce object query language. What is the syntax for the Salesforce object query language is nothing but select, and here we have to mention field API. Okay, field API. Each and every field API is separated by the comma. Okay, field APIs. Okay, field APIs. Okay, and from which object we are trying to fetch? From object API, object API. And here condition, is there any condition is there? Is there any condition is there? Means you want to fetch where, I mean you want to fetch the records, account records, where account name is equals to test, or you want to fetch all the account record. Okay, some conditions are there. Then we have to go with the where clause. If is there any condition, then we will go with the where clause here. We will go with the where clause. My requirement is here. My requirement is fetch account record. Only one account record you have to fetch it. Fetch only one account record. Only one account record we have to fetch from the account object. From the account object, we have to get only one account record from the account object. How we are going to fetch is nothing but select. In account object lot of fields are there. In account object lot of fields are there. Which fields we want? In account object, go to here. In account object lot of fields are there. Lot of fields are there. Which fields we want? Those fields API here you have to mention. Those field API here you have to mention. Select. So the next one is here. Which field we want? We are trying to fetching one account record. Record is nothing but collection of fields, right? In that record, which field we want to fetch? For example, we want to fetch account name. We want to fetch the account name and ID. See a record ID. Every record has ID, right? So select ID name. Here front end this is a account name, but back end the API is nothing but name only. From from account object, we want to fetch only one record, right? We want to fetch only one record. Limit one. Okay, limit one. And we are closing this SQL query. We are closing this SQL query. Okay, select ID name. From account means from account we are trying to fetching account record. How many account record we are trying to fetching? Only one account record we are trying to fetching. Account record means it is a collection of fields, right? So which field we want to fetch from the account record? We want to fetch ID name. We want to fetch ID name. Whenever we are trying to executing this query, whenever we are trying to executing this query, as a result, what we will get? What we will get? First of all, we have to execute this query. Where we will execute this query? Go to the developer console. Go to the developer console. Okay. Go to the developer console. We have query editor is there. We have query editor. See below logs, test, checkpoints. Query editor is there. Go to here. You have to write your query. Select ID name from account limit one. Limit one. As a result, how many records, account records we will get? Only one account record we will get, right? In the account record, which field data we will get? ID we will get and name we will get. Click on this execute button. Here you have to observe how many records we are getting. Query result, total rows is one. See here, ID is nothing but this one and the name is nothing but this. We are getting only one account record. Suppose we want to open this account record. Here you have to observe open detail page is there, right? Below create new open detail page, edit page is there, right? Suppose we want to open this account record. Select this ID and click on open detail page. Click on open detail page. Click on open detail page. So we have an option. We will directly open that particular ID. So here we are trying to executing SQL query. From where we are trying to executing SQL query? From the developer console. From the developer console. Our requirement is fetch only one account record. So for that particular purpose, we wrote this SQL query. This is my query. Select which field we want to fetch from the account record. In account record lot of fields are there. Which fields we want to fetch? Each field API here we have to use. Each field API is separated by the comma, and from account record here we are using limit means only how many records we want to fetch. I want to fetch only one record. Okay, as a result we are getting only one record, right? As a result we are getting only one record, right? So account ACC, account ACC. So whenever we are trying to executing this SQL query, we are guarantee we will get only one account record. One account record. That account record we are trying to assigning to this particular variable. I am trying to assigning into this particular variable. My variable name is nothing but ACC. Whenever we are declaring a variable, we have to specify the data type, right? In the ACC, which data is there? This account data is there, right? That's why I'm trying to storing into, I'm trying to defining the variable as a account type. Account type. Suppose we want to fetch only one account record. One account record. So from the account record, which fields we want to fetch? Then we have to go and use here. That result we are storing into this variable, ACC variable. Now my requirement is select account records. How many account records are there? Select all, fetch all those account record. Fetch all those account record. Yes, from the account record, which field we want means as our wish. Select ID, name, from, account. As a result, how many records we will get? How many record we will get? So here I am not using any limit clause. So we are not guarantee how many account records are there. For example, go to here. We want to execute this query. From where we will execute this SOQL query? From where we will execute this SOQL query? Go to the developer console. Go to the developer console. You have to copy and paste, or you have to directly write this query. Below we have execute button is there. Click on this execute button. See how many records are there. Total 135 records are there. Total 135 records are there. So whenever we are writing this SOQL query, we are not guarantee how many records are there. We are not guarantee how many records are there. Then we will just go and use a list here. We will just go and use a list here. ACC, and here we will just go and use a list of account. List of account. What is the difference above SOQL query and below the one? What is the difference? What is the difference above SOQL query and below SOQL query? Here we are guarantee. Here we are guarantee only one record we will get. Only one account record we will get. We are guarantee. That's why I'm using directly account. Here we are not guarantee. How many account records are there? 100, 100, more than 100,000. We are not guarantee. We are not guarantee how many account records are there. Okay, how many account records are? That's why here we are using list. That's why here we are using list. So finally here we are getting account records, right? From that account record, from that account record, if any account record name is equals to, if any account record name is equals to Ramesh, if any account record name is equals to Ramesh, then we have to update, we have to update type field, we have to update type field to type field. There is a type field here, type field to other. This is my requirement. This is my requirement. My requirement is fetch all the account records. Fetch all the account records. In that account record, each and every account record you have to check it. Each and every account record you have to check it. Okay. Yes. If any account record name is equals to, if any account record name is equals to Ramesh, then for that particular record you have to update, we have to update type is equals to other. This is my requirement. This is my requirement. So here we are getting all account records, right? All the account records. Then the next step is what? Then the next step is what? Check each and every account record. Check each and every account record. We have to check it. Each and every account record we have to check it. That is, we will call it as iteration. We have to iterate. We have to iterate this list. So we have to check each and every element from the list, right? So how to check? How to check? We will just go and use for loop here. For loop, this is only the option. Suppose we want to check each and every element from the list, each and every element from the list. Okay, each and every element from the list, then we have to go and use for loop. What is the syntax for loop? See here, this is a for loop. Then which list we have to iterate? Which list we have to iterate? Instead of account, we will just go and use a variable name as a list of account. Is it mandatory we have to use a variable name like this? Means it is not mandatory. Then copy this list, copy this list. Which list we are going to iterate? Which list we are going to check? So this list only, right? So in this list, what is there? What is there in this list? Accounts are there, right? Then you have to specify the account here. So the reference variable is anything here. The reference variable is anything. My requirement is fetch all the account records. Yes, we are fetching. How we are fetching? We are writing SOQL query. So select in the account records, lot of fields are there. Which field we want? We want ID, name, and the next one is here. We want other also. Okay, right? Other from account, not other. That is type. Sorry, API name is nothing but a type only. See, okay, here. This is a type, right? This is a type field. Type from account. We are fetching all the account records. How many account records are there in the system? Then where we are going to store? We are going to store in the list. Here we are going to store in the list. Okay, list is a order based. List is a order based. We are going to store in the list. Okay, now my requirement is check that list. You have some accounts are there. Where is that account? We stored in the list. Okay, check that list. Check that list. If any account name is equals to Ramesh, if any account name is equals to Ramesh, then we want to update type is equals to other. That is my requirement. How to check? We have how to iterate this loop, how to check each and every record from this list means we have to use for loop here. We have to use for loop list of account. So in this list, each and every variable, each and every record is the account type. This is a reference variable. Then what system it will do? It will take the first record and it will assign into this particular variable. Then it will enter inside into this for loop. In here we are writing the condition acc dot name double equals to, here you have to observe, for assignment we will use single means we are assigning some value. Whenever we are trying to checking the condition, that time we have to use double equals to, that time we have to use double equals to acc dot name is equals to acc dot name is equals to Ramesh. Okay, acc dot name is equals to Ramesh. Then what we have to perform, what we have to perform, then entered into this condition, enter into this condition. Then what we want to perform, we want to perform acc dot type means for that account, acc dot type is equals to other. We have to update, we have to update, we have to assign the value type is equals to other. Then what is the next one, then you will just go and create one list of account. How to update, we have to update, right? Our target is we want to update. How to update, so we have to go and define one more list of accounts to update. This is my variable name, we can provide any name, it doesn't matter. So but some meaningful name, generally we will use this type of names only. So this list we are using for updating the accounts, right? List of accounts to update is equals to new list of account. Okay, new list of account. Here list of accounts to update, go to here, we are trying to adding to that particular list. Then finally here we have to come and we are trying to updating, finally come to outside of this for loop and we have to update this one, we have to update this particular list. So what is the logic from here, we are trying to fetching all the accounts, how many accounts are there in the account object, in account table how many records are there, we are trying to fetching. How to fetching, how we are trying to fetching, we are using SOQL query, Salesforce object query language. Here we are using, select from the account record which field you want, that field you will just go and use it, that field API. Okay, and here from account, here we have no condition, here we have no condition, we are directly using from account. There is no condition, no condition in the sense means we are not using any where class, we are not using any where class. Where class in the sense means suppose we want to fetch where name is equals to test, where account name is equals to test. See here, you will just go and use it. Okay, suppose and where name is equals to test and type is equals to other. So suppose we want to fetch like this means you will just go and add where condition, we can add any number of condition, we will discuss going forward, we will discuss going forward. Here we are trying to fetching all the account records, how many account records are there, how many account records are there, we are trying to fetching. So once we fetch all the account record, then where we are storing, we are storing into this variable. This variable is of which data type, which data type, here we are not guaranteed, right? How many account records are there, we are not guaranteed. That's why here we are using list of account, we are using list. We have three collections, list, set, map. Here we are using list, here we are using list. Whenever we are writing SOQL queries, we will always use a list only. In some scenarios only we have to go and use map, in some scenarios only we will just go and use map. That will discuss, that will discuss. Okay, so set we will now, we will never use, we will never use. Whenever we are writing SOQL query, we will always use list only 90%. Only in some cases we will just go and use map. Why we will go with the list only, why we will go with the list? So here it will fetch the record, right? Whenever it will fetch the record, we are storing into the list, right? List means what is the functionality of the list? List is order based, in which order it is fetching, in the same order it will store into this particular list. That's why SOQL query return type is nothing but list. Why list means it is a order based, it is a order based. Now coming into here, we are fetching the records and we are trying to storing into the list. That variable is nothing but list of account. My requirement is we have n number of accounts, each and every account we have to check it, any account is with name is equals to test. So then for that account, you have to update type is equals to other. This is my requirement. Next step is how to check each and every element, each and every account from that particular list. We will just go and use for loop here. This is only the option. Suppose we want to iterate, we want to check each and every element, then we have to go and use for loop. So which list we want to check? This list only we want to check, right? In this list, what are there? Account is there. That's why we have to specify the data type as account, right? Then this is a reference variable. So the first record it will enter into here. The first record name it will check ACC dot. I'm using here. We are getting first record. In the first record, name is equals to means ACC is a reference variable for the first record. ACC is a reference variable for the first record. ACC dot name, first record name is equals to Ramesh. Then it will enter into inside this for loop. So inside for loop, what it will do? It will update ACC dot type for that record. Whatever it will enter inside if condition, that record it will assign type is equals to other. Yes, it is assigned. Then what is our next step? We want to update, right? How to update? We will just go and define one more list here. We will just go and define one more list. We will just go and define one more list. Okay. Then for this account record, we have to add to this particular list, and we have to come outside of this particular list, and we have to update. We have to update here. Any questions on this one? Any
రమేష్ గారు,
questions? Yeah, yes, ma'am.
ఒక చిన్న డౌట్ అండి. లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఏసీసీ ఉంది కదా,
Yes.
క్వరీ చేసింది.
Okay.
దాంట్లో ఏంటంటే మనం క్వరీ చేసిన డేటా మాత్రం దాంట్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. ఆ స్టోర్ అయిన దాన్ని మనము ఫర్ లూప్ లోకి తీసుకొని ఏసీసీ అనే టెంపరీ వేరియబుల్ తోటి డిఫైన్ చేసి రమేష్ అనే నేమ్ ఏదైతే ఎన్నైతే ఉంటాయో ఒక 10 ఉంటే 10కి టైప్ అదర్ అని అప్డేట్ అవ్వాలి. అదే కదా. మళ్ళీ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మనము లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఏసీసీ టు అప్డేట్ అని ఉండేది ఎంటీ లిస్ట్. అది మనం ఇవన్నీ చేసిన తర్వాత దాంట్లోకి యాడ్ అవుతాయి, అంతే కదా.
Suppose we will find any record, so that record type we are assigning into other. Okay, now one record is there, Ramesh. For that record we are adding type is equals to other. Next, what is our next step? We want to update that record, right? Okay, we want to update that record, right? So what we are doing, I am adding that record to this particular list. Okay, so here 10 records are there. First record, assume that the system it will take, yes, Ramesh is there. For that record we are trying to adding type is equals to other. Now that record I am trying to add into this empty list. Okay, now second record here it will come, second record here it will come, second record ABC is there, no, it will not enter into the loop. Third record it will come. Yes, how many records are there with the name Ramesh? All those record type is equals to other we are assigning. Those account record we are trying to add into this particular list. So finally we are coming outside of the for loop. Finally, see here you have to observe, we are coming outside of the for loop. For loop we are coming outside, and finally we are trying to update in this particular list.
Yeah, clear, Ramesh garu. Thank you.
Any questions or any confusion, please let me know.
Sir, may I know what is the difference between if condition account dot name double equal to Ramesh and account dot type equal to Ramesh? What is the difference between double equal to and equal to?
Double equals to is nothing but we are checking the value. This value, left hand side value and right hand side value, both are same or not, we are checking. Okay, for example, here 5 records are there. Okay, line number 25 we are getting 5 records. Okay, 5 records we are getting, assume that 5 record here it will come, first record here it will come. Okay, so now here it will go to this if condition, first record name here it will take, first record name here it will take ACC dot name, here it will give Ramesh. So right hand side what you are mentioned here, double equals to right hand side what you are mentioned, it will compare, it will check this value and this value is equals, it will compare. If it both are same, then only here it will enter. Here we are assigning a value. For example, go to here, forget about this one, I want to assign some value to I variable. Okay, we want to assign some value. We want to store some value into one variable. How we are going to store? I is equals to 10, right? I am trying to storing some value, right? See, I is any data type. I is any data type. Here I am just putting like integer. Here we am using single quote. What does that meaning? We are storing some value into I variable. That is called assignment. That is called assignment. We are assigning something into I. Means we are storing something into I. So, but now coming into here, we are trying to using double equals to see here. If I double equals to 11, what does that meaning? What does that mean? The here is the if condition we are trying to checking. I is one variable. In that I variable some value is there. That value is equals to 11. Then you have to enter. We are comparing. Whenever we are using double equals to, in the sense means we are comparing from left hand side with the right hand side. Single equals to mean we are storing the value into that particular variable. Here we are also doing the same thing. First I am trying to getting the first record name I am trying to getting. So that record name is equals to, I'm just comparing, that record name is equals to Ramesh. Then you have to enter into this if condition. Then for that record type is one field is there. In that field you have to add the value other. You have to add the value to the other. Got it, Chiranjeev?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any confusion in this code? Any confusion here? Let me know. Simple.
So, sir,
See,
so for every if condition, we have to use double equal to confirm the value, right? For every
yes.
if condition, anywhere.
Anywhere. If condition means what? If this one is this, then I want to do something. Okay. If this is this, then I want to do something. If means we have to check. If that is satisfied, then only you have to perform this logic. So whenever we are writing a if condition, we have to compare the values. If this is this, if this is this, then we have to do something. Okay. Then in the if condition, we have to use always double equals. If condition is nothing but comparing. We are comparing the value. Left hand side value and right hand side value we are comparing. Okay. Any questions or any confusion here? Any questions or any confusion? So please let me know. Okay. So now coming into this is a, suppose we want to fetch one account record, right? So one account record we are trying to fetching, right? See that one here you will just go and use, suppose we want to use the map. We want to use the map of, okay, just remember the syntax. Okay, just remember the syntax. Suppose we want to fetch only one account record or list of account record, then suppose we want to fetch only one account record or multiple account records. One account record means directly we will use this one. Suppose we want to fetch multiple account records means we are not guarantee how many records are there it is coming, then you will just go and use a list or map also. In both the scenarios we will just go and use map also. See here, map, when we will use map, that we'll discuss. Okay, map of id, just remember the syntax. Account, see here, generally we will use the variable name map of accounts is equals to new map of id account. Okay, here you will just go and write select same SQL query. You will just go and write same SQL query here. We will just go and write the same SQL query here. Okay, when we will just go and use, okay, when we will use, that we'll discuss, later. Okay, the here we are trying to storing into the list, right? Suppose we want to store into the map, we will also use the syntax like this. So when we have to go and use the map, that will that we will discuss going forward. We will discuss, forget about that map. Okay, I'm just telling there is an option, map is also one option. Sometimes we will also use map, that will discuss. So any questions on this one? Any questions on this one? Okay, first we are trying to fetching all the account records. How many account records are not there? How many account records we are getting? That we are not guarantee. That's why I'm using list of account. Why we have to use list of account? We have map is there, list is there, set is there, means list is order based. That's why I'm using list. Now in this list we have n number of account. In this list we have n number of account. Now what we have to do? In the for each and every account we have to check it. Each and every account we have to check it. See, whenever we are trying to executing this query, how many records are there? 135 records are there, right? 135 records. Whenever we are executing this query, if you have any doubts, whenever we are writing a queries, you have to come to the developer console and you have to execute this query. You will get a result. Total rows here 135. We are not guaranteed. Here you have to observe, we are using id name, right? That's why here it is also fetching id name. Id name from the record, it is not fetching all the fields. It will fetch whatever the fields we have to specify. Okay, whatever the fields we have to specify, it will only fetch. So we are fetching all the account records. Okay, then my requirement is we have to check each and every element. The name is equals to this one, then we want to perform something. Okay, so now this is general information. Now we are going enter into the Salesforce. We are trying to developing UI. Okay, we are trying to developing one user interface. We are trying to developing in user interface. So generally how we will develop user interface? I mean, we have classic version is there, right? Classic version is there, right? We have classic version and we have lightning version is there, right? Lightning version is there, right? How we will develop our user interface in the classic version without writing any programming? That is nothing but a page layout, right? Page layout. Page layout, technically we will call it as a UI. What do you mean by UI? User interface. That is a general terminology. That is a general terminology. User, he will go to there and he will enter some data. He will enter some data. Then that is technically we will call it as a UI. We are trying to developing one UI. We are trying to developing one screen. In that screen, it will take the data from the user. See, this is UI only, right? This is UI only, right? User means I will go to this account, I will enter the data, right? So it is taking the inputs from the user, right? It is taking the input from the user. That is technically we will use the terminology as a UI. Okay, so here in the Salesforce we have two types of versions are there. One is classic version and another one is lightning version. In the classic version, without writing any programming, suppose we want to develop our user interface, that is nothing but page layout. That is nothing but page layout. If it is not possible with the page layout, if it is not possible with the page layout, then we have to go and use programming. Then we have to go and use programming. So in the classic version, how we will develop our user interface by using programming is nothing but visual force space and business logic will write inside Apex class only. Business logic will write inside Apex class only. Now coming into Lightning version. In Lightning version, suppose we want to develop user interface. How we will develop? That is nothing but by using a record page, right? Record page or flexi page. Record page or flexi page, right? Okay. This is for go to here. Go to my Lightning. This is nothing but a record page, right? What do you mean by record page? What do you mean by record page? Record page is a combination of here. Record page is a combination of compact layout and all these things, right? Finally, this is record page is a combination of compact layout, page layout plus some other components, right? Some other component. Detail tab is nothing but this is a page layout. This is a related list. This is some other component. This is compact layout. This is compact layout. Compact layout. Highlight panel or compact layout, whatever we will call it as a. So finally, in the Lightning, suppose we want to develop user interface without writing any programming, that is nothing but record page or flexi page, right? Record page or flexi page. If it is not possible with the record page or flexi page, if it is not possible with the record page or flexi page, then how we are going to develop user interface is nothing but by using Aura framework. Aura framework. Okay, by using Aura framework or by using LWC Lightning Web Component. By using Aura framework or by using LWC. LWC is nothing but Lightning Web Component. When we have to go with the Aura framework, when we have to go with the LWC, means that is based on our project. I mean, our client only decide. Our client only decide. We will not decide. Okay. First, we will just go and work with the visual force pages. We have to learn. Okay. We have to learn visual force pages, lightning, everything we have to learn. Okay. Suppose we know visual force page, then lightning is very easy. Suppose we know Aura framework, then LWC is very easy. Very easy. Okay. So we are going to design one user interface in the classic version by using visual force space. By using visual force space. So first of all, how to create a visual force space? Okay, second. Any questions? Please let me know. Any confusion? Any doubt? Okay, please let me know. First of all, we are trying to creating one visual force space. Okay, first we are trying to creating how to create a visual force space. Okay, how to create a visual force space. Okay, visual force space. Presently, whatever the project they are going to start, those are using lightning. They are not using visual force space. But the existing projects are still they developed visual force pages only. But we have to learn. Suppose we know visual force space, then lightning is very easy. That's why I'm explaining visual force page also. One example I will explain visual force space. The same example we will also discuss in the lightning. We will also discuss in the lightning. Okay. So first of all, how to create a visual force space? How to create a visual force space? We are going into the classic version. Go to here. This is my light. I'm trying to closing all these things. Go to here. This is my lightning. We are trying to switching into the classic version. Go to here. Switch it to Salesforce Classic. Switch it to Salesforce Classic. We are trying to creating a visual force space. We are trying to creating visual force space. How to create a visual force space means the first mechanism is by using URL. Okay, by using URL, we will just go and create a visual force space by using URL. See, this is the URL. So for example, go to here. This is the URL, right? This is the URL. By using URL, we will just go and create our visual force space. That is one mechanism. That is one mechanism. So go to your URL. Go to your URL. Up to now, you have to keep like this. And after that, you have to remove. After that, here you have to remove. And ours is a Salesforce is Apex programming, right? Ours is Apex programming. That's why you have to mention Apex. Then what is your visual force page name? We are trying to creating one visual force page. What is that visual force page name? We are trying to creating one object. What is that object name? Like that, I am also trying to creating one visual force page. What is that object? What is that visual force page name? See, Apex. So Apex, after that backslash, visual force page name is nothing but VF any name. VF 2021 VF 2021 demo. This is my visual force page name. This is my visual force page name. Click on enter. Okay, click on enter. What we are getting? What we are getting? See, this is your visual force page name. This is your visual force page name. That is does not exist. This visual force page is not available. Shall we create a new visual force page? Shall we create a new visual force page here? Create a page VF 2021 demo. Click on this one. Okay, click on this one. So we are trying to creating a visual force page. How we are trying to creating a visual force page is nothing but by using URL. We are trying to creating, go to the URL, go to the URL, and whatever is there you have to keep this one. After that backslash, and here this is the Apex. We are working with the Apex programming, right? Salesforce is Apex programming, Apex backslash, and this is your visual force page name. Then the system it will ask, there is no page with this particular name, shall we create? If any page is already there means it will directly open that particular page. It will directly open that particular page. If there is no page means the system it will ask, shall we create that visual force page? Yes, it is created. Where is that visual force page? Below here you have to find below. Now here I'm just moving into up here. This is my visual force page. This is my visual force page. Click on this one. This is my visual force page. Here you have to observe. Click on this one. This is my visual force page. Okay, here whatever the information is there, here it is displaying here. Hi. Okay, finally try to save this one. Finally, try to save this one. See, we created one visual force page by using URL mechanism, right? By using URL mechanism. Before using URL mechanism, before using URL mechanism, we have to do one step. What is that step? Is nothing but go to your user. Go to your user. Now we are on this page. I want to go to my user page. I want to go to my user page. User is, who is the user here? Ramesh is the user. We want to go to that user page. How to go to? Go to search box. You have to enter. See, Ramesh is there, right? Click on this one. Click on this one. Before working with the URL mechanism, before creating a visual force page by using URL mechanism, by using URL mechanism, we have to perform one step. What is that step? Is nothing but go to your user. Go to your user. How to navigate to the user means go to the search box and you have to enter. So you have to enter. Then here you have to observe the recent items. Ramesh is there. Click on this one. Click on this one. Now we are going to the user page. We are going to the user page. Click on this particular edit button. Click on this particular edit button. Scroll down here. Scroll down here. You have to observe development mode is there, right? Development mode. Development mode is enabled. Enabled in the sense means this is checked. This is checked. Okay, this is checked. Whenever at the user level development mode is enabled, whenever at the user level development mode is enabled, development mode is enabled, okay, enabled, then only we will use URL mechanism. We will use URL mechanism. Otherwise we will not use URL mechanism. For example, I am disabling this one. See, development mode we are disabling in the sense means I am not checking this particular checkbox. Go to the user level, which user you are working, go to that particular user page, go to the development mode. You have to disable that one. See, we disable this one, right? Now I will go to my URL. Go to here, URL. 1 second. Go to here, URL, Apex. What is your Visual Force page name? Okay, and 01. Click on enter. See, we are not able to create. Why? Because of we have to, which user is creating? Ramesh is, right? For that Ramesh user, go to that particular Ramesh user, current user who is creating Visual Force page by using URL mechanism. By using URL mechanism, go to that particular user and go to the development mode. We have to enable. Then only by using URL mechanism we will create a Visual Force page. We will create a Visual Force page. Now I am trying to enabling this one. I'm trying to enabling this one. Go to here, development mode, okay, and try to save this one. So we enable the development mode. So we are trying to creating a Visual Force page in the classic version. While creating a Visual Force page, we are using URL mechanism. Whenever we are using URL mechanism, before that we have to use development mode. We have to enable the development mode. Otherwise we will not, the system it will not accept. So this is one mechanism. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Now coming into here, the second one, okay, the second mechanism is go to setup. Okay, go to setup. In the quick find, you have to type it as a Visual Force pages. You have to type it as a visual. You have to type it as a visual. See here, Visual Force pages are there, right? Visual Force pages. Click on this one. Click on this one. This is the second mechanism. It will show how many Visual Force pages are there. It will show all the Visual Force pages in our system. How many Visual Force pages are there? It will show all the Visual Force pages. Then click on this new button. Click on this new button. Click on this new button. Here you will just go on to provide. You will just go on to provide a name. My Visual Force page name is nothing but anything. You will just go and provide some meaningful name. You have to provide, okay, some meaningful name. Then whatever we want to add, you will just go and add it here. You will just go and add it. You will just go and add it here and click on the save button. Click on the save button. The second mechanism, what is the second mechanism? Second mechanism is nothing but go to setup. See here, go to setup, and the next one is go to the quick find. See here, go to the quick find, okay, and the next one is here, Go to the quick file, and here you have to type it as a visual force page. Visual force pages here. Visual force pages. Okay. Visual force pages. Visual force pages. Okay. Then you will just go and create a new visual force page. Go and create a new visual force page. This is the second mechanism. The third mechanism, we have developer console is there, right? We have developer console. See here, developer console is there, right? Up to now, for which purpose we use developer console? Execute anonymous window. With execute anonymous window, we are trying to practicing some code, right? We practiced some code, right? We used we execute for SQL queries also. We use developer console, right? Go to click on the developer console. Another mechanism is click on the developer console. Click on the developer console. Okay, practice more on the developer console. Okay, lot of options are there in the developer console. Practice more on the developer console. Okay, go to your file is there, right? File, edit, debug. Suppose we want to go to the execute anonymous window, go to your debug. Go to your debug. Suppose we want to search anything here, we will discuss here. Go to your edit, search in files. Search in file. For example, account, is there any file with that particular name? Enter this one. There is the account with this particular name. Lot of components are there, we'll discuss. So debug we discussed already. Execute anonymous window. Now coming into your file here, how many options are there? New is there. Whenever you will click on the new, here you have to observe apex class. So suppose we want to create an apex class, apex trigger, visual force space, component, lightning, everything is there. For example, click on this open. Click on this open. New option is there, open is there, open resource is there, open lightning resource is there. Practice this one. Click on this. Whenever you will go to here, click on this new button. Yes, we will go and create a visual force space. For example, go to here, click on this open. Click on this open. Let's see the system. It is asking classes, triggers, pages, page components, objects, static resource, packages are there. Suppose we want to open, just now we created one visual force page, right? Click on this page. Click on this page. It will show all the pages. How many visual force pages are there? Just now we created a VF. Suppose we want to open VF 2021. See here, VF 2021. You have to go to here and you have to enter here and select this one. Select this one and click on this particular open. Click on this particular open. Just now we created this visual force page, right? You go to your file. New means suppose we want to create a new visual force page, some other component. Suppose we want to find an existing one. Click on this open. Which one you want to find? You want to find an apex class. Go to here. Select this one. Click on this one. Suppose I want to find any apex class. Okay, AP, any apex class. For example, I want to find any class is there with ABC. Yes, class is there. Select this one. Click on this open. Click on this open. Suppose we want to find triggers. Triggers will discuss. Pages means visual force pages. So we will discuss. Coming into object. Suppose we want to find account object. How many fields are there in account object? Go to here, you have to enter. See here, account is there. Lot of objects are there with the account. So we want only account object. Select this one. Click on this particular open. Here you have to observe how many fields are there in account object. Each and every field here it will show it. Each and every field here it will show it. This is for our quick reference rate. Suppose we want to prepare one query ID. See here, select whatever the fields you want. Click on this query. Click on this query, right? System automatically preparing one query. See here, automatically preparing one query, right? So again, go to your file, open. Suppose you want to open opportunity object. Go to here, you have to type it as opportunity. Select your opportunity object. Click on this open. Here you will find how many fields are there in opportunity object. Suppose you want to prepare any query, whatever the fields you want, you will just go and select those fields and click on this query. See, automatically the system it is preparing a query, right? Automatically system it is preparing a query. Practice this option. Okay, practice this option. We will get by practice only. Go to here, open resource. Open resource. Now coming into your open resource. So it will open apex classes visual force page. Just now we created one triggers. Just now we created one visual force page, right? Demo 2021. See here, this is my visual force page is there with the same name. One apex class is also there. So suppose we want to open visual force pages, apex classes, triggers, then this is nothing but open resource. Open lightning resource in the sense means it will open only the lightning component only. Click on this one, not apex classes, triggers, lightning component only. Here it will open. So we find that new means suppose we want to create, open means suppose we want anything, click on this one, which one you want to open, classes, triggers, pages. So select that one and enter here. Once it is available, select this one, click on this open. That is one option. Suppose you want to open only Apex classes, triggers, visual force space, object, then you have to go to here. For example, you have to type it as account. Say account, see, you will get it. Okay, you will get it here, Apex classes, visual force space. Suppose you want to open only lightning component, you will just go and open this one. Now our requirement is we want to create a new visual force space. Go to here, click on this new button, click on this new button, click on this here visual force space, and enter a name for your visual force space. Demo 2021 VF02. Click on this OK. Click on this OK. So we created one visual force page, right? The third option is by using developer console, right? By using developer console, and the next one is here in the developer console, file, new, and visual force page, right? Visual force page, this is one option, right? This is one option. Now instead of about these three options, they will use Visual Studio Code also. Visual Studio Code, VS Code, they will call it as a VS Code, Visual Studio Code. We have to install into our local system VS Code. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss. So by using VS Code also, they will create a visual force page. They will create a visual force page. Which mechanism? I mean, which way we will select? Suppose I want to create one visual force space, then which mechanism we will select as our comfort? There is no for this requirement we have to go with this mechanism. For this requirement we have to go with this mechanism. It is not like that. As your comfort, whether you will install VS Code in your machine, Visual Studio Code, whether you will install VS Code in your machine, or you will use Developer Console, or you use direct setup option, or using URL mechanism, as your comfort. It is not like that. For this requirement we have to select this option. It is not like that. It is not like that. So suppose we want to create a visual force space, we will use any one of these mechanism, now coming into here. Suppose we want to create one visual force space. Now here we are using URL mechanism. Okay, VF demo 2021, this is my visual force space. This is my visual force space. The system, it is asking there is no visual force space with this particular name. Okay, shall we create? Click on this one. Click on this one. So once click on this one, here you have to observe here that there is a visual force page name, save option is there, some other options are there, and so this is my first tag. Okay, whenever we are trying to creating a visual force page, we will use some tags that is called visual force page tags. Whether you are writing in the VS Code or developer console or this option, finally by using tags, by using VF tags, visual force page tags, which is provided by the Salesforce, by using that one we will write. By using that one we will write. Okay, so here you have to observe Apex page. What is this one mean? This is called VF tags. Where we will get this VF tags? How many VF tags are there? We will discuss going forward. Here you have to observe component reference is there, right? Component reference. Click on this component reference. Click on this component reference. Here you have to observe in the left hand side, click on this one. Click on this one. It will provide some information here. Component, we see here, click on this one. For example, click on this one, it will provide some information here. So lot of tags are there. Not required to learn each and every tags. Regularly we will use 40 tags whenever we are trying to developing a visual force page. We are using 30 to 40 tags. Okay, we will discuss each and every tag, we will discuss. Okay, this is for information. So developer visual force page guide is there. Okay, developer visual force page guide is there. Otherwise you have to go to the component reference. Just click on this one. You have to understand. Okay, suppose we want to find any tag, where we will find, in the sense means here. For example, command buttons, each and every tags are there. We will discuss in the next session. We will start one requirement we are going to develop. I will give some information. Student form, student form, yeah. Click on the student form, not this one, not this one. We are trying to developing one visual force page. Info student. Click on this one. This is a, yeah. Here you have to observe. We are trying to developing one form like this. Our main agenda is how we are going to take the data from the user. User, he will go to here, he will enter the data. Once he will enter the data, how we are going to pass into Apex class. I'm taking the data from the user. That data, how we are going to pass into my Apex class. Yes, once we pass into the Apex class, then what we will do with that particular data? We want to insert into the object. So the main agenda of this requirement is how we are going to take the data from the user. Yes, we take the data. Okay. Now, how to pass the data into Apex class? Why we have to pass? I want to store the data. So where we will store the data? In the objects only, right? Records only, right? So first we have to take the data from the user. The second step is how to pass that data into the Apex class. That is the second step. Once we take the data into Apex class, then how we will insert the data into the object. That is the third step. To learn these three things, how to take the data, how to pass the data, how to insert the data, that we will learn with this example. In the next session, we are going to discuss this example. This is for today's session. You have anything will go.